Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will explore the depths of Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. Robinson Crusoe, published in 1719, is one of the most famous adventure novels by Daniel Defoe. It is regarded as one of the earliest novels in the English language and is inspired by real-life events. The story follows the adventures of Robinson Crusoe, a man who is shipwrecked on a deserted island for 28 years. Defoe explores themes of survival, self-reliance, and the nature of human society through Crusoe's resourcefulness and spiritual journey. Plot summary: Robinson Crusoe was born in the year 1632 in the city of York to a family of German descent. His father, a wise and grave man, advised him against seeking adventure and urged him to lead a quiet, stable life. But Crusoe, filled with wanderlust, yearned to go to sea and experience the world. Ignoring his father's warnings, he set out on his first voyage in 1651. It was a decision that would shape the rest of his life. The sea proved unforgiving from the start. Crusoe's first voyage ended in disaster, with a violent storm nearly claiming his life. Shaken but undeterred, he embarked on another journey, this time to Guinea, where he hoped to make his fortune. Once again, fortune eluded him. His ship was attacked by pirates, and Crusoe was captured and sold into slavery in Morocco. For 2 years, he lived as a slave until he seized an opportunity to escape, fleeing on a small boat with a young Moor named Zari. Crusoe's escape was perilous, but after many days at sea, he was rescued by a Portuguese captain who treated him kindly and brought him to Brazil. In Brazil, Crusoe established a modest plantation and seemed destined for the life of stability that his father had wished for him. But the call of the sea still tugged at his heart. When an opportunity arose to join an expedition to acquire slaves from Africa, Crusoe could not resist. He set sail once again, unaware that this voyage would change his life forever. A fierce storm struck Crusoe's ship, and it wrecked on a desolate island somewhere near the mouth of the Orinoco River. Crusoe was the sole survivor. Stranded on this remote island, he quickly realized that his survival depended entirely on his own resourcefulness. He salvaged what he could from the wrecked ship, tools, supplies, and weapons, and set about building a life for himself. He constructed a shelter, grew crops, and raised goats. With ingenuity and hard work, he transformed the island into a small, self-sustaining world of his own making. Despite his practical success, Crusoe struggled with loneliness. He kept a journal to mark the passage of time and often reflected on his fate, wondering whether God had brought him to the island as punishment for his sins. As the years passed, he experienced spiritual awakening and repentance, realizing that his earlier life had been marked by pride and ingratitude. Crusoe's life on the island took a dramatic turn when he discovered a footprint in the sand. He realized he was not alone. After some time, Crusoe witnessed a group of native cannibals bringing prisoners to the island to be eaten. Although horrified, Crusoe watched from a distance, too afraid to intervene. But when another such group arrived, Crusoe saw an opportunity to rescue one of the prisoners. He attacked the cannibals, killing several of them, and saved the life of a man who would become his companion. Crusoe named the man Friday, after the day of his rescue. Friday was eager to learn Crusoe's language and customs, and in time, the two men formed a close bond. Crusoe taught Friday about Christianity, and Friday proved to be an invaluable ally, helping Crusoe with the day-to-day tasks of survival. Crusoe's long isolation was finally broken, and his existence became more hopeful with Friday by his side. Their peace was disrupted when more cannibals arrived on the island, this time with 2 prisoners. Crusoe and Friday mounted a rescue, freeing both men, one of whom turned out to be Friday's father. The other prisoner was a Spaniard who informed Crusoe that there were more survivors of a shipwreck on the mainland. Crusoe, Friday, and the Spaniard devised a plan to rescue the others, but before they could act, another ship appeared on the horizon. The ship, however, was not a rescue vessel but a mutinous crew of English sailors who had seized control of their captain's ship. Crusoe and Friday, using their knowledge of the island, captured the mutineers and freed the captain. In gratitude, the captain offered Crusoe passage back to England. After 28 long years on the island, Crusoe was finally rescued. Returning to England, Crusoe found his family gone, his former life now distant. He journeyed to Lisbon to claim the wealth he had left behind from his plantation in Brazil. Reunited with his fortune, Crusoe briefly returned to Brazil, but his restless spirit did not allow him to settle for long. He eventually ventured back into the world, embarking on new adventures before retiring in his later years, still haunted by the memory of his time on the island, but also grateful for the lessons it had taught him. His time on the island had transformed him from a reckless youth into a man of wisdom and faith. Crusoe had not only survived, but had learned to reflect deeply on the nature of solitude, the power of God's providence, and the resilience of the human spirit. The island had been both his prison and his salvation, and in the end, it had given him a deeper understanding of himself and the world around him. That's a wrap for today, but there's more to explore in Robinson Crusoe series by Daniel Defoe. Check the description or Celsius 233 to keep the adventure going. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Daniel Defoe's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.